Beep, boop, beep. Beepity boop, bip, bop, boop. Boop, beep, beep, bippity, boppity, boo. Welcome to Vaguely Scientific. Today, I'm going to introduce our panel in ascending order of how close to a robot each one of us is. I am Derek, and the degree of similarity between me and a robot is negligible. Next up is Jim the scientist, who I wonder about sometimes, but I'm pretty sure he's at most 10% autonomous. Hi, Jim.
I mean, I slip into autopilot pretty regularly when I'm walking around.
Okay, well, that's fair. And you might as well say that DAC stands for definitely a cyborg, because Dak is 2/3 a robot. Welcome back, Dak.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, and I have a little extra apparatus keeping my arm together. So yeah.
Oh, is it a pacemaker?
Well, exactly. Yeah, the old arm pacemaker. Yeah.
Oh, Vaguely Scientific is a show where we try to answer questions submitted by listeners, posed by friends of the show, and gathered by random happenstance in our daily lives. We can't always promise we'll get the answers right, but we can promise the real answers are the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Before we get to those questions, Jim, do you have a fun science fact of the day for us?
I do, and this one is about space, because I don't think I've done a space one in a little bit, so here we all are. A super puff planet is a planet that has a mass of around 1 to 5 times that of the Earth, but its radius is bigger than Neptune. And since Neptune is 4 times wider than the Earth, it means that a super puff planet has a weirdly low density, like that of cotton candy. And we aren't really even sure how these weird planets form yet.
Well, I think Craig McCracken made them.
No, that was Powerpuff Girl.
Oh, right.
Okay. Yeah.
But they did have cotton candy in them, right? No. Sugar. What is
Sugar
cotton
and
candy
spice.
if not sugar?
That's true.
It is literally sugar, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's like 1/3 of the entire recipe.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. How did those kids not
So
have
these
diabetes?
planets are like 1/3 of a Powerpuff Girl.
Yeah, that's
how it works.
That's cool. Can you? I don't know. What is an example of one of those planets, Jim?
I mean, these are all like exoplanets, so like there aren't any that are close to us to like be able to go out and like hang out with. But I feel like I saw that a lot of these planets are probably things that are like in a transitional state between like being a Neptune-ish planet and maybe being like not destroyed, but turned into what's called a Chthonian planet, where it just has an exposed core.
Oh, those again.
I
Yay.
love Chthonian planets.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Speaking of things that are in a destroyed state.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I thought so. Our first question this week is, if you could control your body while your head was detached from it, how weird would that be, really?
I
like the
guess
phrasing
pretty
of
weird.
this question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is good. It's not how does it work. It's like how weird would that be?
Weird,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And very, I would suppose.
Well, I don't know. Like, I'm actually kind of going back and forth on that, because I see this trope done in like cartoons and stuff. The most famous one I'm thinking about is Scrubs, actually. There's a fantasy that JD has where he's detached from his body and his body runs down the hall. And I was thinking about how it's always depicted as the body is all clumsy and stuff, and the head is like, hey, body, come pick me up. And I'm thinking, if you are in control of your body, is it that different from like playing a third person video game?
Right?
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
and actually, that was the thing I was thinking about, because one of the things that I've been doing lately is I managed to get a copy of the new James Bond First Light from the library. And I started playing through that, because I only got 3 weeks with this. So I'm like, I got to hit the ground running on this. And it was really enlightening to think about this question in the context of that game, because while you are moving him around, he's doing all of the picking up and he's doing all of the manipulating of objects. You just sort of push a button and it happens. And as you may be aware, I don't know, I'm going to throw this out there. That's not how humans work.
That's true. Yeah. We have to do a lot more things than just push a button to activate action.
Yeah. Okay, so the real question is like, okay, how are we assuming that there is some sort of like instantaneous like wireless connection or something between the body and the head?
I feel like that's one way to, because one of the questions I have is, are you still in direct control of it, and do you still feel even though your nerves aren't attached?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess if this was like, if we're trying to ground this in reality, what would that take? Is that like what connects the brain to the rest of the body, like the spinal cord?
Yeah.
Your
brain
like, stem is in there.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we just pretend that there is a little plug that you can stick at the end of your spine, and then jam the other one at the bottom of your neck, and suddenly you have a wireless transmission. Does that work?
Yeah. So I looked up the chicken that survived with its head being cut off for however long that was.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the things cited when The Walking Dead came up with their explanation for how zombies were still able to move around. And obviously this is very loose science fiction, but the reason that a chicken could still live that long is because most of the brain mass is sat pretty low in their head. And so as long as the brain stem is still intact, they still have basic motor functions, the ability to breathe and the ability to regulate their heart rate. So as long as they were artificially ingesting food with a syringe, it could still function. And the reason that doesn't work for humans is that most of our brain mass is above our eyes. So there's not really any amount that you can sever the head and still have intact brain capacity.
Okay.
So wait, are you trying to tell us that if you detach your head, you are no longer able to live?
Turns out. Well,
oh, good. I'm not the only glib one tonight.
Too. That's actually debatable too, because I was reading about in 1925 in the Institute of Moscow, there was a Dr. Sergei Brukhanenko who allegedly kept a severed dog head alive for several hours by connecting it to a crude version of what became a heart-lung machine. So it was able to keep the head alive. This, by the way, was a massive source of animal cruelty cases. But keeping the head alive is arguably easier than keeping the rest of the body alive without the brain.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've heard stories about head transplants. I feel like I saw chimpanzees, maybe. They have attempted to do this, not with any kind of real success, but sort of in the same way you're saying, like, oh, for a few hours they can kind of keep going.
That sounds like a Carl Pilkington fact.
I forgot about that guy. Wow.
Yeah.
So did everyone else. No, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know anything about Carl Pilkington.
Anyway.
One of the things that I think is interesting that you brought up, though, was just the idea that there would be some kind of like wireless connection between your head and your body. Yeah. And this is something that I only just recently found out about, like within the last 2 days. Apparently, they have prototypes for the idea of basically doing a nerve bypass. So they would attach sort of like two wireless modules on two different sides of a sort of a severed nerve. And this would allow the nerve signals to bypass that break, that damage. And so, you know, if somehow your nerves in your arm got cut or something like that, then you would the modules would bypass that cut and you could move your fingers again. It might be useful for folks that have paralysis. And so I mean, in theory, other than the fact that you need like blood and oxygen and stuff, like you could send the nerve signals from one place to another if your head was detached somehow.
Yeah. I mean, we do have very experimental prosthetic limbs that are controlled by hooking up like a computer chip that get like neural interface.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we can't be that far off then, right? It's got to be only a couple years, before we're able to totally transmit the entirety of your brainstem to your
Right.
spinal cord. But okay, let's go ahead and say that that's possible, and that also, I don't know, we're all on that like head machine thing that keeps us alive, and then I guess we have a portable one that we keep in a backpack for our body. That takes care of like the blood and the breathing and all that weird body stuff you got to do. Like, what are then the problems of we have this perfect connection and we're not dead and we can have them sort of, communicate with each. Well, I guess it's not unidirectional, but it's, I don't know. Yeah. Like, all right, where are the pitfalls here? Like, number one, you can't see as a body. That's like the trope, right?
Yeah.
So that's an easy fix. You get a VR headset and a camera.
Ooh.
Just
interesting.
Just wear a little body cam or something. I mean, you ever fly one of those drones with like the first person view?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's I guess, at a certain distance, latency latency is probably going to become an issue, but that might be the case for whatever our transmitter is anyway. But does that work? Is that like, did we solve it? Is that the whole thing?
Well, I was thinking, I mean, you kind of solved this issue, but the place that my head went was the going back to playing third-person video games and kind of how figuring out camera placement in video games was a process that took quite a while in the shift to 3D.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, because I've played a handful of games where you'll be in a 3D environment, but the camera is fixed. So you kind of are just playing a character running around in a little room, but you just see one angle. And I was wondering about that. This is assuming we still have our tactile sensation being transmitted to the brain, so you can still feel through your hands and stuff.
Oh, okay.
If you are controlling your body without being able to control the camera, essentially, but you can feel through your skin, like, I'm wondering if that would make it easier to than playing a video game, as I keep comparing it to.
Well, I mean, I almost feel like it would have to, because you're having sort of a direct interface with what's going on at that point. And so, like with a video game, you were limited by what your buttons can do and sort of the sensitivity of your controller and things like that. But this would be sort of just a one-to-one neural interface, right? So
right.
I would assume it would be easier in that sense. And I feel like DAC sort of solved the really big problem that I was thinking about, was just like, you wouldn't be able to see, like, once your body goes around the corner, then what? And if you put a camera on it, then I guess that works out.
Oh, you know what though? Okay. I was thinking of like the JD scene in Scrubs and how he's kind of bumbling around. That might still happen because, okay, in like VR, one of the biggest problems is like, you're seeing this movement, but you're not actually feeling it. And that causes a lot of like motion sickness. And I feel like you're going to have almost the inverse problem where your inner ear is not going to be able to detect what your body is doing. And so like, can you even like, would you be able to balance? Do you need like some sort of, I don't know, accelerometer or gyroscope or something that like kind of,
oh, wow.
I don't even know how that would work. Yeah.
I mean, the thing I got hung up with was he keeps like yelling at his body, and I'm like, but the body doesn't have ears. But you're right, not having ears includes your ability to balance that. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. I think you would have to have some kind of like gyroscopic accelerometer, maybe like stick it right behind where the camera is or something. You could put like an instrument package on top of this body that sort of is in line with the nerve transmitter, so that all of that information is then fed back into your head.
Well, see, you just introduced a totally new problem there, though. Okay, like let's say that, we have the spinal cord transmitter, and let's say that we don't actually understand what that data is, but we're able to still transmit it one to one. That's like, okay, that's that scenario, right? But now if we're introducing this digital sort of thing, we then have to convert that to some sort of signal that the brain automatically processes and then inject that back into that like spinal cord sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So like if we were doing that, then, I suppose you wouldn't have to technically wear a headset. You could, just have a camera that directly beams something to your eyes. But I feel like that's now a much more difficult problem to solve than to just take, whatever this raw stream of data from your, spinal cord to your, whatever, and connect the two,
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, they should focus on trying to figure out how to attach your head back to your body.
I was thinking that, yeah. Like we are bending over backwards to be like, how do we take machines and make them do all of the job of your brain and eyes and ears and nerves?
Yeah. Well, okay. What other senses do you lose? I guess you would have to have like a multi-array microphone on that body as well, and you could just wear headphones. That's fine. Yeah. But you lose smell completely.
Yeah.
You lose smell. You lose. I mean, there was an episode of Fetch with Ruff Ruffman, which is a show that I don't know if anybody has ever heard of. I feel like
you're making this up.
I'm making up this. It's a game show, and it was this cartoon dog who had like kids go out, like real kids go out and do like a game show.
Okay.
This was a little after my time of watching PBS, so I was only kind of tangentially aware of it. But I do remember seeing an episode of it where they had the kids walk not a tightrope, but like a bridge over basically a ball pit. And they had to like, if they could get across, they got a point. And then they had to walk over it again while wearing headphones. And then they had to walk across it again while wearing both headphones and a blindfold. And they were all surprised how much the headphones affected them. Like it wasn't as drastic as when they were blindfolded, but wearing headphones that I think maybe was playing music or something affected their balance more than they expected it to. And I guess that's not a new point, but I just thought it was fascinating how much your ears play into that.
Yeah. You definitely lose something whenever, like, I don't know if you've ever worn an Apple Vision or like an Oculus Rift or something, and you're using the pass-through mode where you're actually just looking through like the cameras, and intuitively you're like, oh, that's gotta just pretty much be the same. But then if you try to, let's say, like pick up a pen off of a desk, you're always off by a little bit. So I feel like you're going to lose a lot of this like fine motor accuracy regardless. And I don't know, it's going to take some time to adjust. So how weird would it be? I'd say 7.
7?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like 7 about out of 5. Yeah.
On an indeterminate scale, it's a 7.
Oh, you know what though? Okay. All right. It's worth it though. Okay, I just thought of something.
Okay.
You know what this enables? You know what this enables? Dude, what if we could just trade wireless signals?
Whoa.
Like what if you're like, what if we just start a new like kind of Uber sort of app where it's like, listen, brother, I don't want to go to work today. You live in, I don't know, Bangladesh, and this is your job, is just remoting into another person's body and doing their work for them. Yeah.
Isn't that Severance?
This is a
kind of.
Oh, is that what Severance is about?
Not at all.
Not
but
quite.
It is it's a little like that. Yeah.
It's just like the remoting into bodies, I think.
Yeah.
I like that you've given me a really, to me, interesting prompt for like a cyberpunk existential horror story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, imagine getting your body hacked.
Right? Or experiencing the sensations of another person.
Right. Oh my gosh, dude. I don't think we can talk about that kind of stuff on this podcast, but like maybe going to a hot spring or like somebody is just constantly, their body 24/7 is in like a hot spring, right? And then you're like, dude, I got to clock out for like 8 minutes and just get my hot spring on. And you just flip over to that channel,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and their experiences for rent.
Yeah. Exactly. Dude, that's a I feel like we are on the
This is a
verge
Black
of
Mirror
a new,
episode.
of a new-
It really
we have a
is.
new business idea here. And then you know
Yes.
what? We could also just grow bodies, right? Because I think I feel like the soul must be in the brain. I don't know. We just grow bodies, and then maybe you can just buy like a couple backup bodies, right? And so you can literally be two places at once. I remember there was this time whenever I think it was like when New Super Mario Brothers came out on the Wii, where I modified two Wiimotes so that I could control Mario and Luigi at the same time, and I tried to play through the game that way. Really hard, by the way. But like, I was like, man, this is great. I'm like controlling both of them. So like, imagine trying to split those processes, and you just have like two people doing the same thing at once.
Yeah.
It's $1,000 idea.
I've thought about that. It would make like dance numbers on Broadway really easy to,
Oh yeah.
to set up.
Yeah, it's like literal. It's like tool assisted humans.
Yeah.
Like,
Tool assisted humans. I
Yeah.
love it.
this is great.
I mean, I hate it as a concept, but I don't know.
All right, weirdness 7, cool factor perfect 10 out of 10.
Now, all this
I think we
being
should do
said, I feel like you don't have to chop your own head off and like attach it to not a head to do a lot of what we have talked about just now. Like
That's
if you could
true.
just do like a matrix nerve plug implant, you could probably just like, matrix your way into the hot spring or something like that.
Yeah.
Jim, I feel like your answer for everything is just let's invent the Matrix.
I
Cow
mean-
Matrix. Yeah,
it is good.
it is good.
But then we don't get to be the like little Futurama people in like the head in a jar,
True.
and
Yeah,
I do want to become that. That is sort of my final form.
Mhm.
I feel like all of this is still open to bring up moving on in this episode, but I do want to move on to the second question specifically because speaking of remote controlling people, I think we should talk about Mario.
Well, I do have
Oh,
one
dude,
more
I
thing
love
I want
that
to
guy.
mention.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
And the one other thing I was curious about was what is your head doing in this whole scenario? Is it in a jar? Is it in the Futurama jar?
It could be.
Someone's just playing kickball with you.
Well, the very first thing I thought about with this question was there is a character on the anime and manga and whatever you want to, et cetera, Mazinger Z. Or Mazinger Z, I guess, is technically what it's called, but I'm from America,
Okay.
so. But this guy in Mazinger Z is named Count Brocken, and he's a dude whose head is off, and it just is around. And I think sometimes I see him carrying his head. Sometimes I think it sort of like floats on a little UFO. I feel like I've seen that, but maybe that's just a Super Robot Wars thing. But I'm like, can your head like be autonomously controlled like a drone around your body so you have like two vectors of attack?
Oh, dude, that's a great idea.
I pictured the head floating around on the little cloud like in Mario 64. The
Oh,
Koopa with the
the
camera.
Lakitu guy, yeah.
The Lakitu. I was thinking I couldn't think of the name. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, or like in a little like Dr. Robotnik egg just
Oh,
yeah.
zipping around. Yeah, that's perfect.
I'd like a mechanical spider. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, Wild Wild West style. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that way your head could sit on your body most of the time, but just like
Oh,
in rare
yeah.
occasions when you need to separate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the option.
Oh, it's like in Star Trek, in the Next Generation, how the saucer can separate from the bottom of the ship, and that happens like 3 times ever, but it can be done.
Yeah,
I
and I mean those
didn't
3
know
times
that
are
happens.
really important. So
Yeah.
you use it when you need it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You use it when you need it or when the plot demands it.
All right, so tell me about Mario.
Yeah, he's remotely controlled.
That's
He
true.
is remotely controlled, and I do. So, question 2 comes from RK, and it's about the Mario franchise. The question is, how hot is it inside Bowser's castle?
Which one?
Oh, good question.
That is
Bowser's got
that is
castles
a
for
great
days.
follow-up question. There's
Ooh.
more than one castle even in the first game.
Yeah. In the first game, I think that one of the defining features of the castle is that there are a lot of fire bars and there's a lot of lava. So those ones probably kind of on the hot side. I feel like there are some castles in later games that are like exclusively underwater, or it's just like, here's the metal mesh grating that you get to climb up and stuff like that.
Well, I started with the lava because that's what originally I thought of.
Yeah,
and,
that makes sense.
The idea of a building having lava just free floating in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, easiest answer, lava is at least 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit, 700 Celsius. But the air around it is going to be in a range from 200 to 500 Fahrenheit.
Ooh, that's still hot.
So that's still pretty hot. So if you're in an enclosed, like, medieval castle corridor, I think you're melting.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny you say that because even though I am the one who has now opened this question up, I exclusively looked up stuff about lava. It was only as you said that I was like, oh, which castle? I've done this to myself.
Well, we can open the question up to many different things.
Oh, sure, totally absolutely. Fine. I did look up something I thought was really interesting, though, and it's just sort of all the different kinds of lava there is. And the main types that I really focused on, based on their names, I think that they were sort of codified in Hawaii. So there's like the A'a lava and there's the Pahoehoe lava. And the A'a is like, it's flowy, but it's more chunky. And so if you watch videos of this type of lava, it looks like it's a bunch of like small rocks that is being pushed along on like a gooey underlayer. And I almost think of this as like a really thick soup with a lot of like stuff in it, like chunks of meat and chunks of vegetables and things like that. That's kind of what it feels like to me, which I don't think really is the lava we are seeing in any Mario game. The Pahoehoe lava is the more runny kind of liquid lava that you see pouring out of a volcano, like rolling down like a river. And I feel like, and you can all, independently verify me on this, but I feel like that's what we see in most video games, not even just Mario.
I think you're right. I think it's more, liquarious, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it speaks
so wait, how hot is that
lava?
How hot is that lava?
That tends to be on the hotter side. So you are looking at around like 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the hotter the lava is, the more runny it is.
Wow.
Because it would have to melt more, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, the answer to the question is very hot. I mean, like, this is very not survivable. I can't imagine that, a castle can, those walls are not breathing very well, so it's probably going to be like a giant, brick oven.
Oh, right? Yeah. Oh, great pizza in there, though.
Oh, dude, great pizza at Bowser's. Are you kidding me?
I should go to the pizza business.
Peach,
Like, if you called their pizza restaurant Bowser's, I'd be like, I bet they make great pizza there.
Actually, for sure. Definitely, dude. Are you kidding me? Bowser's
Pizzeria.
Oven Castle Pizza? Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
But, all right, so how does Mario survive this?
Well, so one of the bigger issues with researchers being near lava isn't necessarily the heat. It is the fact that if you're that close to lava, you're also surrounded in very little oxygen and a lot of toxic gas. But I'm sticking with Mario 1 here, which Jim made an excellent point. There are plenty of other Mario games, and for whatever reason, I limited myself here. But in Super Mario Brothers, in water levels, Mario does not have to breathe in water. So I think maybe that aspect doesn't affect Mario, and it's a Mario.
So Mario
or Luigi
just doesn't have to
thing.
breathe, like at all.
I think
that kind of explains how he flies around in space in Mario Galaxy, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, although wait a minute, no, dude, because he does have like a breath meter in like Mario 64 and Sunshine and so okay. All right. Now I'm thinking about all of the different like environmental hazards and how Mario is capable of surviving them. Because right off the bat, he clearly has skin that can withstand up to 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll check that box.
Yeah.
Also, apparently he sometimes has to breathe, but sometimes doesn't have to breathe. So what is this water made of?
Yeah.
You know, okay. Let's assume that like in like Mario Sunshine or something where he has a breath meter, that's just like normal ocean water. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
What is the water in like Super Mario World made of if he can just stay there forever?
I think it's that that LCL from Evangelion that you just breathe, the breathable liquid.
Exactly. Is there a real thing in like real life that is there a breathable liquid in real life?
Oh, I forget. I think we talked about this, and I think that
we talked about liquid oxygen at one point.
Oh, Lord. That would be flammable.
Sure is.
That's what Bowser's Castle started as, actually.
I feel like we talked about this at some point on the show, and I feel like the answer was that the exact like concept of a breathable liquid isn't a reality yet, but there are folks that are trying to figure that out. But maybe I'm wrong about this. I feel like there was more to be said.
I'm looking at
There was. I'll have to go back and listen to what we said or something.
Well, okay, so we're dealing with two different types of swimmable liquids. All right, we've got the one that he can apparently just totally breathe into, and then we've got, I guess regular water. But then I guess okay, so if he's in the water, let's say like Dire Docks or something, have you ever noticed how the bubbles kind of rise really slowly?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is the viscosity of that water?
Oh, you know what? I just had another thought that sort of throws a wrench into this whole thing.
Okay.
There's the stage clock on Super Mario World, and I feel like the stage clock averages, about like 4 to 6 minutes, and then he dies.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe he can just hold his breath for like 4 to 6 minutes. Like some free divers can do this. And
that's true.
So it's not he's not breathing. He just doesn't have to breathe because he can hold his breath real well.
The Mushroom Kingdom there's just mushroom spores throughout the entire air. So Mario's just always holding his breath.
Oh, you know what? This suddenly makes a lot of sense. And that's why in the 3D games, he has to breathe and, because there's no spores. We don't see any of those, right? Yeah. That's how that works. By the way, I just did look this up. There is apparently a liquid called a perfluorocarbon that has oxygen and carbon dioxide dissolved in it. And I don't know if this is real, but this is something that, like what you said, Jim, they're working on as like a breathable liquid. It is just LCL though, So I guess
in
that
the testing
makes sense.
phases. Yeah.
Well, does that mean that there's air in the universe of like in space in Mario Galaxy?
Is there a time limit to the levels in that? I haven't played Mario Galaxy.
I don't think so. I don't think there is.
And it's really weird too, because I think in Mario Odyssey, when you are on the moon, doesn't he wear a helmet?
Oh, I think
that's just for show.
Yeah, because you can actually change can you change outfits or whatever? I don't know. Does he wear? I feel like I'm Mandela affecting me right now. I can't remember if that's a real thing or not.
Well, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. Okay. In the meantime, what is like the pressure at like the bottom of like one of these oceans that he'd be swimming in? Is that something that he could even? Because we're now defining Mario as like a complete superhuman.
Well, I think that's apt because I was thinking about what the gravity might be. Again, mostly I'm familiar with like Mario's 1 and 3 on the NES. And I was thinking, you mentioned space, and I was thinking, is the gravity different? Because he can jump multiple times his own height. However, Mario was originally called Jumpman. So I think that's just his superpowers.
Well, dude, he's just got them thighs, though,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Like,
he does not skip leg day.
Dude, not at all. I mean, in Odyssey, he's like right up against other humans, and they're doing their little jump rope challenge, and they're getting like 1.5 feet vertical at best, and Mario's out here putting them to shame.
Mm-hmm. I saw some images of Mario in a spacesuit, but I also saw some. So I think you're right. I think you can like change your outfit, but it also is possible that I've looking at a lot of things that were just like photoshopped. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, speaking about your question about what the pressure underwater is,
Yeah.
it is only about 3 feet under the surface of water before people generally have to readjust and repressurize their ears, and it's usually like 10 feet before it becomes noticeably uncomfortable. This is from like a diving perspective. So I feel like, I don't know how tall Mario is, but I feel like he is several Mario heights down under the surface of water in dire docks.
Mhm.
Oh, dude, he's like, I would estimate it at like, I don't know, between like 300 and 500 feet easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you think about how long that submarine is, like if you turn that
Exactly.
upright, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we are easily into a situation where he'd need to be in like a pressurization chamber so that he'd get the bends when he surfaces.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, free divers, like pearl divers, go down pretty deep without like a breathing apparatus.
How much pressure
True.
is that? Like 100 feet or like 500 feet or something?
Let's see.
Jim, this is a science question. Can you survive that without like a suit kind of thing?
Oh, here we
Or,
go.
like-
Water pressure conversion chart. Feet to PSI. All right, so
Okay.
feet of water, 100 feet of water would be like 43 PSI.
That's what I'm getting.
I mean, that doesn't sound altogether the worst. Like, you know, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so 0 is 0 on this scale. Because I was thinking the atmospheric pressure is like 14.7 pounds per square inch. So I was like, oh,
Okay.
you know, it only goes up from 14 to 43. But in this particular scale, 0 is the surface of the water. So you were adding 43 additional pounds per square inch, which does start
Okay,
to
I
sound
see.
like a problem.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
at 100 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's like, we're talking like 10 to 15 atmospheres
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
pressure if in like dire docks. Can a human even survive that? I genuinely don't know.
I think it would be like about 3 additional atmospheres of pressure, which is why I'm like it might be okay, but it also might be
Okay.
really miserable.
So, well, a human body can survive, not comfortably by any stretch, but can survive up to 60 atmospheres.
What? No way, dude. That can't be true. That's crazy.
That's so many atmospheres.
That's a lot.
That's too many atmospheres.
I agree.
That is far too many atmospheres, yeah.
All right. So you said how many? Like 60?
Unless I'm misreading the number here. Let me do a quick
Well, now I'm going
verification
to
here.
pull up a calculator and be like,
Yeah.
60 times 15.
Someone check us on our math here. Post in the comments.
This would have to be like a very gradual descent, I would have to imagine.
Well, yeah, this is not like a sudden impact.
Yeah.
This is if you have taken the time to recalibrate. We're looking at like 900 psi if
Yeah.
it's evenly distributed underwater pressure.
That's crazy. Wow, Mario can really he's diverse in
Yeah.
his survivable environments. Okay, actually, speaking of water, okay, what's the level in Mario 64 where there's like the really cold water that just kind of kills you in like
Oh,
15
yeah.
seconds?
I know what you mean.
Cool Mountain. Cool
Yeah.
Mountain, that's it. How accurate is that? Like, okay, how quick would you get hyperthermia in whatever the lowest temperature water before it starts freezing? Like, assume it's like salt water or something. How quick, if you just like jumped in there, would you get hyperthermia?
Well, I know it's pretty darn fast.
So that
Yeah.
part might be accurate.
You'd go into shock
Mhm.
pretty quickly, and I'm just remembering Man vs. Wild, all of the
Yeah.
times he dived into icy water to be like, I'm just going to show you how you would get out. And I'm like,
just gonna
I
show you how you'll
believed
die.
you. Yeah, I believed you when you described it. I didn't
Yeah.
need you to do it.
And now I'm gonna drink my pee. So,
Oh,
I
this
love
is
how I always
interesting.
ended every episode with that. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah.
I was reading about like if they found like the depth at which people cannot go further. And the answer is they haven't found that depth yet.
Wow.
It says most professional freedivers don't go past 400 feet, but that's not like a hard and fast limit. It says the only way to test this would be to test it on a real live human. And there is a pressure at which your lungs are just so squashed that you cannot breathe anymore.
Oh.
Also, you can just start bleeding into your lungs.
Oh,
which
fun.
is not unheard of for these professional freedivers. Apparently, when they resurface, sometimes they can, cough up blood. So,
I mean, it is worth noting that the 60 atmospheres is assuming you have taken time to repressurize and you're careful about gas mixtures.
Yeah.
So the amount of up and down Mario tends to go in water, would be harder than the human limit.
Yeah.
Which further illustrates Mario being a superhero.
Right.
I mean, yeah. If there's one thing that we've learned, I mean, okay, actually, Jim, science question. How cold is space?
It depends on where you are. So, if you are close to a star, it can actually be rather hot. The daytime side of the moon.
That's probably true.
Yeah, well, but the daytime side of the moon is, 200 degrees above zero. But even if you're just floating out in Earth orbit, there's a big difference between the side of your body facing the sun and the side of your body that is not. And that's something that we have had to deal with spacesuits, where we've had to design them to make sure they're very efficient at cycling the temperatures, because you could fry on one side and freeze to death on the other side of your body.
Wow. So
yeah,
I guess let's say that you're in sort of, I don't know, there's no obvious sun nearby. You're just in the cold vacuum of space. What's our default universal temperature?
I think it's only a few degrees above absolute zero. I don't know. I'm going to look it up again.
Yeah, because there needs to be the presence of energy, right?
Average temperature is 2.72 Kelvin, so about 2 degrees above, 2.72 degrees above absolute zero.
That's pretty cold.
It is.
Where's absolute zero in terms of Fahrenheit?
I think it's minus 500 and something.
Oh, that's chilly, dude. You need a jacket for sure.
Yeah,
it's zero energy, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The point at which the molecules and atoms in your sample stop moving, which we have not been able to achieve.
So Mario goes from absolute zero to bare minimum. What was it, 1,000 Celsius or something, or 2,000 Fahrenheit, and can clearly withstand at least, what is it, 60 atmospheres of pressure.
Yeah.
What is he made of? Is he just Goku? What is this?
He's Goku. He's Super Mario.
I also think it's worth noting that sometimes he falls from extreme heights, and if he just flips his butt around and the right time, he's fine, no problems.
So sometimes Mario takes zero fall damage, and other times falling into a pit kills him instantly.
Yeah.
So it's not the fall that's killing him, I figure.
Well, they do claim it's a quote unquote bottomless pit. So is that true, or is there a floor and it's just really, really down there?
It's really down there.
I mean, I guess in Mario Galaxy they sort of solve that by putting a literal black hole.
Yeah.
And that's what you're sort of falling into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would hurt.
It might be worth considering that the Mushroom Kingdom may not have the same laws of physics as the human world does. This actually sort of makes me think of Superman, in the sense that, when Mario is in the Mushroom Kingdom and the world of the Mushroom Kingdom, that even though he is just an average mundane human, when he's in the Mushroom Kingdom, he has superpowers, because the Mushroom Kingdom's laws of physics don't work the same way. It's sort of the same way Superman comes to Earth, and it's not that our laws of physics are different, but our star gives him powers that he doesn't have in his own mundane world. And so he's able to do incredible feats that he wasn't able to do in Brooklyn.
I mean, I'd buy that, because what is it's like an anime term, isekai or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're transported into a different world, and if you go into a world where there's magic, you can become magical.
Mhm.
And I feel like, at least by the logic of like the Super Mario Brothers movie, where he is going into a different world, like makes sense that he'd get star power and fire flower power when like Goombas can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is leading into a full Mario physics breakdown special in the future.
Yeah.
Like,
let's do more Mario physics questions.
I really do want to like dive into this, because then, you know, you do have like the obvious tenets of you know, the physical nature that we kind of live in. Like, it does seem like fire sort of, you know, acts the same way. There is gravity,
Mhm.
there is, you know, probably air, and I don't know, and so it doesn't seem so foreign that like at a surface level glance you're like, oh well, this is clearly like they're playing with a different rule set. But then whenever you sort of break down, okay, well, what is the viscosity of this water, because that bubble is rising at like 1 meter like a minute or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, then you play Mario Kart and you just drive right through that water, right? Like it's nothing. You know, so
I didn't even think of Mario Kart.
There's some inconsistencies here. It's crazy.
I was even thinking a lot about the structure of Bowser's castle, and the fact that, you know, kind of getting back to the question, like there's so much lava in this castle and the castle doesn't melt. The bricks that make up the castle that are in contact with the lava aren't like breaking down.
Yeah.
Also, why doesn't the lava cool off ever? Like, lava doesn't stay hot forever.
I put some thought into what the bricks must be made of. And again, this is Super Mario Brothers, the first one, where I seem to remember the Bowser's castle, the bricks are like white. And that made me think like maybe there's some material like super fire bricks or something that are like really good at not conducting heat. And so like walking through the hallway, it stays cool despite the fact that there's a lake of lava right near you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wouldn't that mean that it would actually keep the heat in like even better? I don't know. I don't like actually know how
insulation.
That works. Yeah. So okay, so like I don't know. Either way, he's cooking, dude. Like
he's cooking. Well, there's the one where Bowser falls into the lava and then comes back up as a skeleton, so it melts all of his skin off.
There is one that does that. Yeah, I think there's at least two that do that actually.
Yeah, he actually Bowser ends up in the lava a lot, dude.
Yeah.
So like, something tells me that he probably has thicker, weird superhero skin than Mario does.
This actually reminds me of a TV trope that I came across whenever I was looking into this question, and I believe the trope was called "Lava is just red Kool-Aid." And so one thing we may have to consider here is that while all of the instruction manuals and player guides and everything call this lava, what if it's just red water that's real hot?
I can see
it's just
that.
got a lot of rust in it.
Oh yeah,
something.
yeah. Like in Antarctica,
high iron content. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's making him die. Is it's just highly toxic.
Yeah, it's not. The reason that he dies in it is because it's freezing cold. Actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hot water, no problem. Cold water, instant death.
Instant death. Well, Mario has the fire flower power, so he's got some immunity to fire.
Well, he's got the ice flower power too, though.
Yeah, well, that's not till later.
That's fair, yeah. It also could be very hot. It's just not like lava hot, you know, like it could be like boiling water and it would still kill you if you fell in. But like it's not, you know, 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. It's like 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Which I think you could probably raft across if you tried really hard.
Well, I'm with Dak on the I want people to send us more Mario physics questions.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, I've just been all in my head the past like minute just thinking like, okay, there are all these other like, okay, if it is a toxic water, like what like what's the toxic fog in like Hazy Maze Cave and like you know, and then like there's that one level in Mario Galaxy 2 where an entire water planet freezes into ice instantaneously, and I'm thinking like,
ooh,
how does like what amount of energy? I don't know. What about Chocolate Island? Is that made of chocolate, Jim? You know,
there's
like,
a chocolate island.
These are the
it's
questions
right on
we
the
can't leave
name. It
unturned.
must be.
There's a lot of Mario games I haven't played.
There is a stage in Chocolate Island that instead of lava, it does look like it's molten chocolate.
Huh.
Ooh. I'm having a Simpsons flashback right now.
Molten chocolate?
There's a part where the Germans take over the nuclear power plant and they say, "We come from the land of chocolate." And then Homer is fantasizing about being in a chocolate city made of chocolate.
I mean, I feel like we've solved the first question, but much, the way that this goes is, we answer one question and we've now unraveled, 1,000 more,
Well, that gives us material for the future.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a second because I feel like there is multiple people cutting out.
Yeah, let me just relocate real quick. Yeah,
it's all of us. We're all cutting out.
Yeah. All right.
I think it is.
That's the internet for you.
Yeah.
Full of internet
the
juice.
tubes are clogged.
Yeah.
The tubes are clogged. Somebody get
They're all full of magma.
That's true. Yeah. I wish somebody like maybe some super powered plumber could come and unclog all of these pipes.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great.
Yeah,
anyway,
Luigi, if you're out there.
The answer is 2,000 degrees. Next question.
Next question. Well,
but yeah, send more of those in. I want to actually do a bunch of these Mario physics questions. These are really fun.
I like how they could get very ridiculous.
Yeah, they spin out of control fast.
Yeah. Well, because there are so many zany different mechanics and stages and worlds and biomes that Mario encounters all the time. And like you said, we didn't even touch on like Mario Kart, which has the weirdest stuff ever.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, anti-gravity track? Like, what is that?
This is completely off topic, really, but I was thinking about more contemporary platformers, like 2D platformers, and how a lot of times they try to integrate the interactable platforms with the background. So it'll be like a mountain structure, and just like the ledges you can jump on will be kind of jutting out toward the viewer.
Right.
And how I actually feel like Mario with floating blocks makes more sense than that, because why wouldn't the person just walk slightly up? Like
just move their plane a little bit.
Yeah. So why are you jumping? You don't have to make that jump.
Floating blocks, though. Dude, what are the clouds made of that you can stand up? Okay, I got to stop with these questions.
Oh, yeah, because that's a whole nother episode. And I think we should put that in the question channel right now.
Yeah. We will come back to these, listeners. Please let us know more.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
In the meantime, I guess, listeners, if you could still control Mario's body after his head is detached, how weird would that really be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How hot would you get?
How hot would you get? If you have any thoughts on that or anything else we talked about, especially if you have Mario physics questions, because that's the prompt. That's today's prompt. You can email us at feedback@vaguelyscientific.com, or you can comment on the blog on the website. You can like us on Facebook. Jim, where can they send us these Mario physics questions?
Well, we would love to have you send those to us at questions@vaguelyscientific.com. And if you want to get our episodes the minute that they're released, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and all the other great places the cool podcasts like to hang out. And subscribing and leaving feedback really helps us out. And so does telling your friends.
Tell your friends.
Yay.
Our vaguely musical intro is composed by Anthony Pizzelli, and there are two really cool ways you can support the show. The first is to buy us a coffee with the Buy Us a Coffee button on our website, and the other is to check out our merch store over at vaguelyscientific.threadless.com. We are always adding new things secretly without telling anybody, and then remembering to tell people after, 3 or 4 weeks. So it's a good idea to keep checking.
Yeah, but half a year later, oh yeah, we never told anybody about that.
It's like, oh yeah, we added this new design like 6 months ago. We should probably promote that.
Yeah. Well, thank you to Dak for coming back and talking about Headless Mario with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hooray. For Vaguely Scientific, I am Derek.
I'm Jim.
And I'm their friend.
Hooray! Commencing sign-off sequence in 3, 2, 1.
Toodaloo, everybody. This actually sort of makes me think of Superman in the sense that, you know, when Mario is in
Makes
the
you think
Mushroom
of Super.
Kingdom and like the world of the Mushroom Kingdom, that even
Jim
though
cut
he is
out,
just
I'm
an
sorry.
average
I didn't-
mundane human. Was that?
You cut out for me and it sounded like you said, this actually makes me think of soup. And then suddenly it was quiet.